Hi everyone, I'm Hoodie Angel Brandon, and welcome to another month of Fae Freebies. We are here for November, and trying to follow up the frankly insane luck of the past 2 months. I don't think it'll happen, but, we can hope. So we are starting things off with heroes with lull skills. Frankly, nothing that I desperately need here. The only one I'm missing is Catherine, because I had her and then I foddered her. I don't remember who I foddered her to, but she was here and then she is not here, so I guess we'll try and get her back. Catherine's a cool character, so I wouldn't mind having her. Still so dang confused how they took the one character in Three Houses with a cannon brave weapon and messed up the translation that badly, because this is not anything like what Thunder Brand is supposed to be. Who knows what happened there, but still wouldn't mind having her back, so we'll prioritize red. Blue or colorless backup. Probably want to go blue, I think, because this is more generalist fodder. I could put it on like Sakura, I guess. Whereas Julian doesn't have anything that I currently really need for anyone. I guess I could do close foil Summer Claude, which would be very funny, but I don't think it would be very good, so just try for red. Really was hoping for some more appealing units when I saw lull skills on the calendar. Green would have been great, but alas, a lineup that doesn't particularly interest me. So we will pull this red, see what we got. Who is our first summon of the month? Yo, it's Catherine! Okay, maybe that luck is carrying over from the last few months. Maybe now that I've freed myself of the curse of the legendary mythic hero banner, I'm back to top lucky form and getting freebies like this. Minus attack is a little unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. I doubt I'm going to use her seriously unless she gets a super good refine. But still, good to have, good to just hold on to her. I could maybe fodder her to someone in the future. Who knows? But she is still a great free summon, so I'm very happy. For this month's Tempest Trial banner, we have Leggjarn, Big Sis Camilla, and Cherche. Not a particularly stellar banner. Nothing too enticing, although it's understandable that they didn't want to put Ascendant Leggjarn or Ascendant Fjorm on here, so I get it. And then 2 of the other units on the banner were Tempest Trial, or were Grail units, so this banner makes sense even if it's not super enticing. Even though Leggjarn is probably the better pull, I kind of want to just pull green, just because I want to pull green for chance at Rickon. And then on this one, yeah, Layla has Life and Death 4 and Rally Attack, which is okay, but I'd probably rather have Lull Attack Res fodder, and then Pegasus Flight is not particularly exciting, especially since it's on a demote now, I think. And then on this one, we'll go for Azura, Deirdre as backup. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull this one. Green, red if there's no greens, but we got a green, so we'll just pull this. Could use a merge for Cherche, since I do use her sometimes, but instead we just got Shirtless Hawkeye. You're not invited to the Wyvern Festival. You don't even have a Wyvern, silly. And then this one, I think we'll go red. Oh, yep. Lots of reds. And colorless. Couldn't go for Pegasus Flight even if I wanted to. Oh, just a fur. Just a fur. And lastly, try and get that Azura. Almost tempted to pull for more Azura merges. I do have some orbs now, but I think I should just save. Yeah. I don't need Azura that badly, and since I'm already planning to merge Nils, my need to finally plus 10 a Dancer is a little less now, so I think I'll wait on Azura, maybe when she reruns again, because I think she has another weekly revival fairly soon alongside the house leaders, so might wait for then and see if there's anything else that I want to get in the meantime. Today we are here with the new Wyvern Ninja banner, featuring my beloved big sis Camilla. She has finally been released from No Alt jail, and it has been quite a while. Her last alt was Pirate Hinoka, if you want to count the fact that she appeared there as the cheerleader on the duo. But if you don't want to count that, the last appearance for her was her Brave version, which was voted on in Choose Your Legends. So even that was kind of we forced them to give her that alt. So her last natural alt before that was a little before that. Was that last one Hot Springs, I think? So if so, that has been quite a while. Either way, it has been a while. So there have been units that have gotten many more alts in that time, so I don't want to hear any complaining about it, okay? Okay, so we are here to pull for her. She is looking quite nice. Actually, her neutral art is not my favorite, but I do like her other arts, and more importantly, it's just Camilla, and she looks like a very solid unit. The theme for this ninja banner, rather than pure offense, is more defense. All these units have weapons that, like the past ninja weapons, allow the unit to attack twice. However, these ones, instead of bumping up speed or dealing true damage, instead improve the unit's def and res and inflicts a speed penalty, which is actually kind of interesting for the ninja theme. We have some slow and bulky ninjas, but they have the special benefit of being able to do their brave attack even if the foe attacks and initiates on us. So they are pretty solid. Camilla in particular gave me some trouble in the story paralogue maps. So we want to get her and add her to our team. We don't want to spend all our orbs though, because we do need to save, especially for some stuff coming later this month. But she is looking quite solid. She has pretty high attack, although it is offset by the low might of these brave weapons. And she also has really high res, which is really good because her weapon in particular also has a vantage effect if you have higher res than the opponent. So stacking her res lets her attack first, which is pretty helpful for that brave effect. And even if she does miss the kill, she might be able to survive because her defenses are both actually pretty solid. That is boosted by things like attack res hold and close salvo, giving her some more bulk as well. And then she has this new seal res skill, which is a little wonky. It seems pretty good considering it's building off of seal skills of all things, but it does seem kind of tricky to use to full effect. I'm not sure how I feel about them, but we are going for our dear big sis Camilla. But the other units on the banner are also pretty solid. For the demote, we have Heath with attack, def, catch, and pulse smoke. Pretty okay fodder. Pulse smoke is good, but I don't feel like it's as in demand as it used to be. And attack, def, catch is on Papa Gerald. So it's not something that isn't available, but it is still a pretty good skill to have on hand, especially if you wanted to build Gerald or need to save Grails. It's not bad to have the option here. And he also has this Wyvern Yumi. Like the other weapons, gives def res +5 and inflicts minus speed, though it doesn't have any other fancy effects since it is the inheritable. But it still seems pretty good, mostly held back by the low might, like all these ninja weapons. Then we have Church, or apparently we now have official pronunciation. It's Cherche. I will probably forget that within a week, but apparently that's how you pronounce it. After all these years, we finally have an answer. And she is a defensive monster, very high base defense, and even her res is pretty respectable too. her weapon, which also has damage reduction based on 20% of her def, so stacking that def is pretty good. It also has some extra damage based off of the defense as well. And then she has AD near trace and attack def hold, both pretty good. I still do want to get hold skills for my regular Camilla and my Seteth, but I want the speed variants more, so wouldn't be bad, but not quite what I'm looking for. And then finally, the duo is Leggjarn, joined by Fjorm. Another case of these two units look very good individually, and I kind of wish they were individual, just because I'm not wild about duos, but they do look solid, though not quite as nutty as last 2 years duo units. I still use Ninja Lyn and Ninja Corrin. They seem good, though being more defense oriented makes me not quite as interested. They might be able to take a hit, but I have a lot of success having the other two ninja duos quad enemies, and that's something that's not quite on the table. But they do have this fancy bow that has the special effect of hurting my head because, like, ugh. I don't want to read all that. Congrats. They also have attack smoke and attack res catch and seal def 4, so pretty solid fodder. I can't remember, do we have anyone who has attack res catch in the common or grail pool? I can't remember. If so, then she would be very good fodder because you could get all of these pretty cheap, but I'm not sure. And then her duo skill is the same self dance effect that the other ninja duos have, so still very useful, even if I'm not quite as sure if she's as good as Corrin and Lyn. But they are a blue bow as well, which I guess is actually probably kind of helpful. We've had a lot of really solid red units this year especially, so being blue isn't necessarily a bad thing. I know a lot of people are thinking that we might have a full red A Hero Rises this year because there are a lot of good options like Summer Edelgard and Valentine's Crom and Halloween Duma, among others. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes up. But so yes, our priority target here is our dear Big Sis, but any of these would be great to pick up. Even Heath wouldn't be bad because the bow does seem interesting. I did have some ideas of some builds that used it, though it's not something that I think would be so amazing compared to other options that I need to chase it, but it is interesting. So I think our priority will be red, blue, green, colorless. And again, I don't want to spend all my orbs because I do have other stuff even just this month that I want to pull on, but we want to get Big Sis, so we want to spend and try and nab her. Bring home our beloved Big Sis. And it also works out because I actually do want another Vantage unit. I do have my Winter Altena that I use on one half of Aether Raids, and my other Altena does not get used very much, the Mythic version, only when she's a bonus unit. But having another Vantage unit like Camilla would be nice to have, so we're hoping we can grab her very quickly and bring her home without spending too much. Instead we got Ray, which is I don't think he's a brave attacking Vantage monster, but I don't know, I didn't pay attention to his refine, so maybe he has that special power on his tome and no one noticed because no one cared about him. It wouldn't even surprise me, honestly. Yo! Oh, that was super cheap! Nice! Alright, I guess this is probably going in the free summons then, because that was just super cheap. That was what? 9 orbs, I think? What is she? Minus attack. That's very unfortunate. Minus attack is really bad for her because she already has kind of lower attack due to the low might on her weapon. She does have, like, I think 43 base attack, which is actually really solid. She wants every bit of attack to make up for that difference there. So that's a little unfortunate. I could even try for another copy and and save her to merge or fodder, because close salvo could be useful for another unit that I was thinking about. But I'll at least pull this other red here. But then I might just call it, because we did get her still. I could always use trait fruits. I do have some floating around still. Yeah, just a Tharja. That's not exciting. You're not my big sis. So, overall, not bad by any means. That was only, I think, 13 orbs, 9 on getting Camilla herself, and then 4 more trying to luck our way into a easy merge. But still fantastic, still going to take it, and we will just call it there. Oh, also one more thing is I forgot to mention, since they did get her VA back to record new lines, I'm really hopeful that means that they had her record some lines for a Resplendent for her base version, while they were already having her record lines for this version. Just, Resplendent Camilla, please. We have our next revival banner, Ascended Iden, which is an okay banner. I don't think it was the best of the options that were available, but Iden is still really good. I still use her, and I wouldn't mind having more DR near save on hand just in case. Could be helpful. Or a merge. Could also merge her, because I do use her like every light season. She is on my light team for AR offense, so pretty dang solid. Aside from her, Hugh is not super helpful. He's got rouse attack speed, which is pretty okay, but speed def ideal isn't as enticing as attack speed ideal. He would give flowers though, I guess. And then Nime has attack res menace, which could be helpful. And then Kath is cool, but don't need more copies of her right now. So, leaning towards Iden, and then Hugh, I guess, and then Nime for our freebies. So, well, there's no blue, so just pop the red. Try and get a free Hugh. Yeah, and this wasn't the most enticing of the batch, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. Skathak? I don't know. Cool. I like his art. It's pretty nice art, but I just don't know what I would do with him, honestly. But that's 40 Dragonflowers, so that's cool. And yeah, this banner wouldn't have been my top pick for next Forging Bonds. And then all the banners I would have picked over it don't stand a chance against the Fallen banner being a rerun option. So yeah, that one, I looked at the polls and I voted for it, and it was leading like 50% to everything else being like 13%. It was really funny. I don't think anything's gonna top that one, so we will look forward to the chance to pull some Fallen Gustavs and Reyes and stuff. So Ferdinand, that's a reposition fodder at least, and this red, what have we got here? Just a Roy. I actually surprisingly don't have that many Roys. I noticed that the last time I went to get Triangle Adept for someone, I was like, oh, I don't actually have that many Roys. So, I guess a Roy is not the worst thing we could have pulled there on red. And this blue has, nothing. Those Demote Lance Flyers. So many of them. And the only good one was Seteth. I love my Seteth. And our last freebie here. What have we got? Tailtew. Not the most exciting, but she does have her drive, which is still okay fodder, so those weren't the worst pulls we could have had on this. Not amazing, but could be worse. And we have this month's new refines, and I already have 3 of these. I'm just missing Corin, so I guess we should probably go for her. Of course, this is not all the refines. We also have Yoon and Eliwood on the remix, and they got really good refines, and Eliwood's remix skill was also really good. He also got Flow Refresh, which is also pretty nifty. But this batch of non-legendary units, I thought it was just kind of okay. None of them stood out as things that I super wanted to invest in. Though I wouldn't mind Petra. If I ever got her to plus 10, that'd be kind of nifty. But since I have Claude, I'm not gonna specifically pull Blue to try and get merges on her or anything. Though I think I could have her at like plus 2 or 3 right now. So I do have a fair number of copies so that I just don't really use, but she'll probably be our backup if there's no colorless for Corn. But we got the colorless. We'll just pull one of these. Yeah, none of these super enticing to me. Instead, what have we got? A Tethys. I've still considered building Tethys. It would definitely be after I finish Nils. I've got an idea of something I can do with her besides the Tamari build everyone else does, so I've considered it, but I'm not sure. For our Legendary and Mythic Hero remix, I don't especially need anything here. Our new units are Yoon and Eliwood, who both got pretty solid upgrades, I think. Yoon got Attack Res Unity, which is not as stellar, but her Refine was actually really good from what I remember. And Chaos Name was also pretty good. I think she can actually hit like 100% damage reduction with the correct build. I don't know what that build is, but it is interesting, and it does give her a pretty nifty little niche, being able to 100% nullify all damage. But Attack Res Unity is not the most sought after skill. Could be okay, but I don't have anyone off the top of my head who needs it. And then we have Eliwood, who got Flow Refresh. Pretty helpful for some calves and stuff. But then he also got Visions of Arcadia 2, and his Refine is also really good. But for both of them, I already have the units, so I don't desperately need extra copies. It's not like I'm trying to max merge them or anything. So they would pretty much just be for fodder. I think Flow Refresh is a little more helpful than Attack Res Unity, and Eliwood also has Death Blow 4 and Rally Speed Res as Tossins. But he shares with Ike, who only got Joint Drive Res on his Refine, and then Warding Breath, who, similar to Yoon's Attack Res Unity, I don't really have anyone who desperately needs. And then Yoon was sharing with Gustav, who is super enticing, but I no longer need him. I desperately needed him, but now I don't. But he would still be great to have just extra copies of, just in case I need him in the future. He's also just a solid unit, but I'm still mad at him, so that's kind of the issue. Then for Blue, we have Azura, who has Attack Speed Push 4. It's very common skill at this point, but, you know, still wouldn't be bad to have. Could also just merge her. And then we have Ephraim, who I don't have. And wow, I forgot he only got Attack Def Solo 4, and they actually gave him Fortified Def 3 when he first released. What were they thinking with that one? Different time, a different era, right? But wouldn't mind Ephraim, but I don't know that I want to pull for Blue on this banner. And then finally we have Air, who just got Attack Res Unity and Mystic Boost, which is a little more in demand now that Mystic Boost 4 is a thing. So I could actually see that, but wow, they really just gave both of these girls Attack Res Unity. They didn't even try and mix it up. Well, I guess if it works for their kit, it works for their kit, right? And then finally we have Lady Rhea with Bracing Stance and DR Near Save, and then also just being a really good unit who I still use a lot. So could just keep her for fodder or merge, but looking at this, I think I'm leaning green, then colorless, then red, and then blue for our free summon priority. But we're not going to spend orbs here. As cool as it would be to pull both of these and get like 2 Gustavs or something, I just don't think it's really that worth it. I don't have immediate need for them anymore. Oh, instead, I think that's a blue? Yeah, cool. I don't have immediate need for him either, but free is free. And he does have Rally Up Res, which could also be useful. Just as a arena score skill for someone in the future. I actually did have ideas for someone who could use Eliwood's Rally Speed Res, but it wouldn't be great fodder coming from Eliwood himself because the unit can't use any of the other skills that he was offering. So I guess I could use Rally Up Res instead, though I really wanted the speed aspect of it. But I'm not even sure if I'll build that unit, so it's not really a big issue or anything. So this is just a free Lou, which is free, and that's cool, I guess. For weekly revivals, 41 and 27. On 27, I don't want literally any of these. I'm tempted to pull green just to try and get a Rickon, honestly. Yeah, I actually kind of think I'll do that. And then we're going to pull green on this one as well, though I actually would like to get Keaton. I don't necessarily need him, but I like him, so wouldn't mind having him. Almost tempted to pull that second one, but I don't need him, so save the orbs. There are other stuff coming up that I want, so instead we just got Gunther. Gunther, you're not the 4-star I'm looking for. Not the 4-star I'm looking for. Alright, well, game really said you will take your old Gen 1 5-star and you will like it. I guess we'll go Ephraim, because blue is a little more helpful, I think, than red. I can't think if there's anything in red that I really need right now. Effie, you are not also what I am looking for. Sad. Now we have the In the Moment rerun banner, and we are probably going to go for Leviatine, I think. Lynn is still fantastic. I still use her regularly on Light Season, but I actually have an extra copy if I need fodder, so figure it's best to diversify a bit. Navarre, we got a combat manual for, I'm pretty sure. And then Zehark, our bootleg Callan Kessler, doesn't have anything I desperately need. He's got the Ninja Katana, which is kind of cool, but I don't have anyone who needs it, so it's fine. So I think we're going to go for Leviatine, just because she's a 5-star, could get a cool refine down the line. And I guess she was kind of the first attempt at a bulky ninja unit, or at least an enemy phase 1, huh? And speaking of, that Camilla that we got is actually super good. I knew she was good from the story mode, but she's actually super good in practice too. I ended up changing her IVs with a trait fruit so that she's plus attack, and she just sweeps a lot of things. Regularly auto battles Tempest Trial, pretty much as the last remaining unit with the AI controlling it. And she also let me get to tier 39 in Aether Raids last week on Chaos Season, which is much harder for me. I know some people find Chaos Season easier, but I struggle with Chaos Season because a lot of my teams need multiple dancers or multiple save units. So Camilla just kind of swept a lot of that and was really good. So that was fun. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up winning a Hero Rises. I don't think she will. I think people are going to go for Edelgard, and I would probably vote for Duo Chrom over her. But if she does sneak out a surprise win, it won't surprise me at all because she is a really good unit. So I think we'll just pull one green if we have it. Sweet. Try and get Leviatine, try and get a Rickon, try and get something cool. What have we got? Baruka. Well, it is a wyvern, but not the one we were hoping for. Weekly Revival 62 featuring our good boy Nils. And then we also have Weekly Revival 28. Nothing I desperately want here. I might even just pull green. I don't really want any of these. Maybe blue actually for like a chance at Azura, but and on this one, I think Larcy with Repel would probably be the best. but I'm gonna pull blue anyway for a Nils merge, just in case. I was actually thinking about pulling on this banner before we had Halloween Nils released, but now that I can easily merge him, I don't really need to pull for him, but I still wouldn't mind more copies. This one first, let's look for... Okay, we only had blue and green as options, so that works, I suppose. Don't actually really want a Tana, so we got a Muriel. Slightly more useful. No, thank you, we don't want to continue. And then on this one, blue or red? I think I still lean slightly towards blue, even though I think red would be more useful. And then in the end, it didn't even end up mattering. Give us the Nils merge. Give us a good boy merge. No! Be gone. Be gone! Out of my sight. Alright, we have double special heroes, and this looks like a pretty solid lineup. But nothing that I desperately need. There's some stuff that I wouldn't mind having for sure, but I don't really need to spend any orbs here, thankfully, since we did just spend a good chunk on the new hero banner this month. So real quick, let's take a look. We've got Edelgard, of course, a very fantastic unit. Would not be surprised if she ends up finally winning a Hero Rises this year. She comes close every year, but always gets voted out because her fodder is always terrible, and is a non-limited unit because for whatever reason people picked Brave Edelgard, who we got for free, instead of the legendary one, who we did not. So would not be surprised that now that Edelgard actually has a seasonal version that is very oppressive, I would not be surprised at all if she ended up winning the whole thing. So wouldn't mind having her, but also, like, there's a very strong chance she at least ends up on that banner. So assuming they do that again this year, I don't know that I want to just spend orbs there. And on that note, I also wouldn't be surprised if, like, Duo Crom and Ninja Camilla were other top contenders for there. We might see a red sweep like we saw the green sweep for this year, so that would be interesting. But yeah, I think she's a top candidate for that. Even if her fodder isn't quite as exciting as some of the other options, Tech Def Ideal still okay, and Assault Troop is nifty, although can be a little tricky to play around with since you can only move in lines instead of diagonally. But yes, very great unit, wouldn't mind having her. And she is sharing with Mia, who is also pretty good, but more interesting to me as a fodder pick. Speed Def Tempo in particular would be kind of cool to put on Soleil so that she can spam her special more consistently, since she does have the special acceleration in her sword. Though, because of that, Flashing Blade 4 is kind of redundant there as a throw-in, so not really worth chasing Mia down just for that, I think. Blue has Thor, also pretty dang strong, and exposure can actually be kind of annoying. I see her decently commonly on AR defense. I'm not sure if she's any good for offense, but at the very least, they're a strong defense pick, so wouldn't mind them for that. Although I still haven't gotten around to updating my AR defense in like over a year. Lilina, also pretty solid. See her decently commonly on defense as well. She hits pretty dang hard. She still has her silly little AoE damage attack that can be spammed pretty consistently with her prep. And she has really high res. So that's kind of interesting. Wouldn't mind having her. And then Erica has attack speed Oath 4, which I do kind of still want to pick up for a potential Rickon build that I have in mind, though by the time I get those 11 copies of Rickon, we might see attack speed Oath paired with something a little more exciting than steady impact. So not quite as high priority. And then she's also sharing with Ileana, who's a demote that doesn't have anything I desperately want. So a little less exciting there. Colorless Micaiah would be very fun to have. She can be very strong. But she is sharing with Henry, who is the only male on this banner, and it's very funny. Especially because there were a good number of males in the banners these characters come from. But for whatever reason, the way they picked the lineup, it's just all waifu, and then Henry just hiding off in the corner. Very funny, but he is not terribly interesting. So I think we'll go blue because that looks the most useful to have, but red would be our backup pick, and then probably would have picked colorless over green, but it's fine, we got a blue, so don't have to worry about it. Might have even considered pulling multiple blue on the opening wheel, but we got the one and it is nothing, so yeah, just an S. Unfortunate, but that's alright. I wasn't going to lose sleep over not getting any of these units, so. For heroes with solo skills, we have Nyx, Fallen Dimitri, and Fallen Morgie, and I don't really need any of these for fodder, so I think we're just going to go for Morgan just for a potential merge. And Dimitri probably back up, though I think I haven't actually leveled up my Fallen Dimitri that I got like 2 months ago yet. I think I still have him to level up to do his heroic ordeals. I've just been too busy grinding hero merit to level extra units up. So, green, perfect, just one. That's all I need. Try and get a Morgie merge. No, you're not my daughter. Raven, you're not my daughter. Get lost. Blah. Alright, we have the New Hero Returns Black Friday Ascendance banner, which I think that all the different unit types have finally gotten to IS. It's too complicated and it's fried their brains because half this banner is not Ascendance. I think they're mixed up. They've got too many unit types. They got Resplendence, Ascendance, Legends, Mythics, New Heroes, Seasonals. It's all too much for them, and they are a little confused. Realistically, they probably just didn't want to do a full Ascendant banner because it'd be too good. But, like, isn't that the whole point, is to make a really good banner that's bait for people spending Black Friday money? That's what I would assume is the point. At least it's got the increased rate at 6%, but yeah, some of these choices are a little odd. Red is actually pretty good. It has Marita with Vital Astra and Spurn, and then it also has Volk with Lethality, Sturdy Impact, Null Follow-Up, and Times Pulse. Solid across the board. On blue, we have Ishtar, who is a pretty solid unit, though her fodder isn't quite as enticing, I think. Life and Death 4 is okay. Lull Speed Res, also pretty good, and then Times Pulse, also good, but as we're going to see on this banner, there's a lot of units around with Time Pulse lately, so loses some value on that, but she's a very strong unit. And then Ninian is also really good. Fallen Ninian here with Blue Dual Infantry and Odd Pulse Tie, and then also Cross Spur Attack. Almost want to pull her for Nils to give him the Odd Pulse Tie and the Cross Spur Attack. Even though I got a Pulse Tie for him, it would be very fitting and very funny, but don't really need to do that. In fact, Odd Pulse Tie would probably be better served on someone else. Not sure who off the top of my head, but I'm sure someone else could use it. And then we've got Ascendant Fjorm for green. Solid unit, of course. I have several copies of her, and she has those funny armor save skills and Hardy Fighter. Pretty premium stuff. But to contrast this, we have Astrid with Speed Def Bond and Attack Def Ruse 3 and Rally Attack Def. Her bow is nifty, but I feel like even on arrival, her fodder was so lacking that she was just a really uninteresting pick. So I don't know why they would pair her with Fjorm of all the green picks. I mean, even if they wanted to make it not super enticing to pull green, surely there was a still slightly better pick. Tank the value a little bit, but still make it, like, you know, worthwhile to some extent. And then finally on colorless we have Joshua, who is, I think, probably the least exciting Ascendant in terms of fodder. Yeah, he just, no follow-up is good, but it's like everywhere at this point. And similarly to Ishtar, Life and Death 4 is okay, but you know, there's usually a better A slot option unless you're really trying to stack visible stats for some reason, like a Chill Soaker. But outside of that, And then Green Feud skills. Does anyone actually use those? And then Yuri, again, Times Pulse, and then a dual skill. Yuri's a great unit, but we got that one for free, and then he's been on Hero Fest. He had his regular banner where you could spark and the rerun where you could spark. So Yuri's just kind of everywhere, and I don't know why they put him here again. Like, I think that there's probably some other unit they could have put on that would be a little more value for fodder and a little harder to get than someone that everyone got for free, but IS works in mysterious ways. So with our tickets, I think I'm leaning towards... I think red is slightly better fodder-wise, but I don't have Fallen Ninian, so I think we'll go blue, red, green, and then colorless. But we're just going to pull the freebies here. I don't really need any of these. Naturally, of course, we get the less enticing colors to start with. Pull green, hope for a Ricken or a Fjorm. Oh, instead we got a Yarn, which is actually pretty nice because he has attack speed so low, so he's easy chain inheritance for any other unit that has attack speed so low, which I have a few sitting in my barracks that I just can't fodder because I don't have the attack speed solo. So now we can get one step closer to toggle extinction and also get our attack speed solo at the same time. So yeah, not a bad freebie there. Not the most amazing, but not terrible. And then we got a blue here. Try and get that Ninian. Yeah, I think red is slightly better for fodder value than blue, but I don't have Ninian, so another dancer would just be great to have. Also the chance at some cool blue 4-star specials, which would be nice. But yeah, this banner is just kind of weird. Like there's some solid picks and then some questionable, even ignoring the fact that half of it is literally not Ascendance. Yo, we got the Volk. Nifty. He's making up for the hassle he put me through when I summoned for him on my birthday to get Claude Lethality, which I could put this copy of Lethality on Yuri, Ninja Lin, both very strong options. I could also do the unthinkable and build Jacob. No, I'm probably not going to do that, but I could, and the idea of giving him lethality of all characters is very amusing. So, very lucky there, though. Very solid fodder across the board, but again, I feel like lethality is just so premium. If I'm not giving lethality to someone, then what's the point? His other fodder is really good, but you got to include the lethality, which kind of limits him a little bit to characters who actually can use that, which is daggers. But who knows? In the future, maybe there'll be some other nifty dagger unit I want to build. Ooh, actually, I have mentioned a few times that I've considered building Tethys at some point. I could give her the lethality. Would it be absolutely a waste of fodder? Yes. But would it be hilarious? Yeah, maybe. Maybe not hilarious, but it would be funny. So another round with no blues, so we'll pull the red again. Come on, give us another Volk. No, just Marth. I think I like Volk for fodder a little more than Marita with Vital Astra. I don't know, I like Vital Astra, but I feel like if you're not running like Special Spiral to keep it online constantly, it's not as good as it seems. Like messing around with it on Byleth, usually I feel like I just get more mileage out of Gale Force or Aether, because I don't run Special Spiral on him usually. Actually, I don't think I have Special Spiral on him, but yeah, Vital Astra, I feel like you need to build the whole unit around. It's not a good swap-in skill, which is how I like to play my units. But finally, to end things, we have a Corrin. Not super helpful, but hey, cannot complain. 2 5-stars and 2 very solid inheritance 5-stars at that, so pretty happy. For this month's Bound Hero Battle banner, we have Flavia and Basilio, and it's not a terribly exciting banner. Basilio, of course, cool character, but a demote. Flavia, also cool, but not the most exciting fodder. Attack speed push, pretty universally useful, but it is also very common for a tier 4 skill. And then Red Feud, I think I just mentioned that like no one really uses these, so. And then her pref is okay, but you know, she's still competing in the super saturated sword infantry pool. And she's also joined by another sword infantry that she could be competing with. Prime has attack def ideal, null follow-up, good, and then rouse speed def. Not the best rouse skill, I think, but not bad. So yeah, obviously we're gonna go red on this. It really wants me to pull green, but since I can't tell that any of those are Rickens, it's not worth it. And instead we just got a Miranda. Wow, thanks. Wow, thanks. For a weekly revival 42 and 29, we're just going to pull green on both of these. None of the units are terribly exciting, but I want to pull green. I think this is objectively the wrong choice on this banner, but Rally Up Res isn't terrible, right? Secondary pick is probably Corrin since I don't have her, but we got a green, so we'll just pull that. Yeah, I want to pull a Ricken, that's all I want. No, although Echidna is actually useful, so that's okay, but it's not what I wanted, you know? You know? There you go. Greens, greens. Where are the greens when I actually have banners I want to pull on? Faye? No. At least it's drawback fodder, I guess. Not that I'm in need of that. For the rerun of Ninja Training, we already have both Corrins. We even have our good boy here, plus 10, fantastically enough. So I'm thinking it's between Igrin or Shinon. In fact, I think I also have I've also got a Duo Corrin as a combat manual if I want the fodder. So yeah, it's between Shinon and Igrin. Igrin is probably the better option because she does have a pref. So she would be eligible for Refine eventually. And we could also take Sea-Dual Flying and put it on Flane or someone. I don't know. It could be funny. Ooh, or Bridal Fjorm. Actually, that does kind of make me want it. I would love a plus 10 Bridal Fjorm one day with Sea-Dual Flying just for the flex. But I was also thinking about maybe going for Shinon to get him just in case Ash wants this bow. Yeah, I'm still holding on to the hope that they'll add Ash's regular version with his bow at some point. And we're assuming that that'll be before they release an arcane bow that I inevitably pulled just in the hopes that he actually releases. Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, I kind of want Igrin just to have on hand for Sea-Dual Flying, or to have her if she gets refined. And I think she's also a really good unit too. Well, never mind. The game said go for the Ash fodder, and so we will oblige. The funny thing is, I actually have regular Shinon saved for Ash for Deadeye fodder, so I don't even really need this Shinon. I just think it would be cool to have him, but instead we got Soleil, so no fuss, no muss. We'll just leave it at that, I suppose. Finally, to end off the month, we have the Veronica and Emblem Mythic Legendary Hero banner. Though apparently, according to the banner title, they are not particularly legendary or mythic. They are just simply heroes. So we have these two to close out the book. Once again, as is tradition, the male OC has been banished to the void. Elm will never be heard or seen from again until New Year's, probably. He'll probably pop up in New Year's as like a Tempest trial unit or something. I don't know. But we have the two female characters, the marketable ones, here to drain some orbs before the holiday season enters full swing. And they are really going in on that because these two look pretty insane. Embla here has the first, I'm pretty sure it's the first beast dedicated skill like ever. Okay, no. There was also Beast Valor and Beast Experience if you really want to count those. I don't, but this is a Beast exclusive skill that lets them transform ignoring their transformation requirements, which is really cool and something that I was asking for like the year that they announced Beasts. So it's a little sad that it took this long, but it's finally here. I can now build Selkie if I want, which I actually, funny enough, have been debating. I've been throwing around the idea, but every time I look at Selkie's weapon, I'm just like, how do I make this work? Selkie's weapon has a major identity crisis, but I still would like to build her just because I love Selkie. And this effect also neutralizes effects that prevent your unit from doing follow-up attacks, so like half of null follow-up, always pretty nice. I don't know for sure if Selkie wants that. I literally cannot remember everything that was going on in Selkie's weapon because it was just such a mess of contradictions. But the fact that there are now beast skills that would let them transform and then potentially give them other effects on top of that is really exciting. So eventually I may be able to actually justify pulling for Selkie on like weekly revivals and try and plus 10 her. That aside, she also has attack speed clash, and she has this skill Severance, which is just got so many things here. Look, she's got undefended, feud, penalty, and dodge. What is that? And the most interesting thing here is the undefended, which just prevents savior skills from working. Which is, like, if they just gave her the effect that she inflicts undefended on foes within 3 columns or 3 rows centered on her, that would already be like a S tier C skill for Aether Raids. Probably for like Summoner Duels too. But then she got like all this other stuff on top of it. It's just really funny that they really want to sell her. And then she's got her Enclosing Claw, which, yeah, that's text. That sure is text. So she looks fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic unit. Would love to get her. Honestly, would love to get like 2 just so that I could potentially get Selkie, that Beast Agility. And I think Selkie would like attack speed clash too. I think I said earlier that I haven't updated my Aether Raids defense in like over a year, but that's not entirely true. I updated it to include Medius, but all I did was I just took out 1 mythic and threw him in, so I updated it, but I didn't make it actually good. But it still wins sometimes, so maybe adding Medius and Embla on top of each other would just be so much stupid effects that I would win just off of that. Who knows? And she's joined by Veronica, who also looks fantastic. Also, she got a figure announced, which also looks really good. I'm not gonna buy it, but it looks really cool. And she has SR Trace and Attack Speed Catch, the Cavalry special here. And then she also has her new special signature skill Enclosure and the Enclosing Dark Tome. Fancy stuff. But she also has Panic Smoke 4, which looks very interesting, although I can't quite decide who I would want to put this on. Yeah, I don't know who wants this, but it does seem like an interesting C skill. And she's a Wind Legend. I would associate Veronica with like fire, or maybe water, or even earth before wind, but okay. And then they are also joined by Nana, who is a strong unit who also has attack speed push and attack speed menace. Would be a great pickup as well. On blue we have Saros and Deirdre, who I actually have and I've constantly forgotten that I have. And then Kata. Okay units. Green has Dagger and Hell. And also Ymir, who we just got, so we don't really need green. I have all of those, but not bad stuff. Not the most exciting. I think that's probably the least exciting colors on here, but still nifty stuff. And then we have Bramimond, who I would still love just because the effect is cool. And then Micaiah and Ascendant Celica. But yeah, red is definitely the clear winner here. I think I'd even say I like colorless a little more than blue, but red is very strong. I almost kind of want to pull on this, but I should probably save, but I might pull any reds that pop up. So let's go ahead and just pull this one red. That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping we'd get like multiple and I'd luck my way into like 2 Emblas or something, but alas, what do we have to end the month? Just a Marth. Marth, you silly, you're not a weird, angry bat lady. You can't kill save units. But anyway, even though we didn't end with Embla, we did get some really lucky pulls this month, continuing the streak. Had another really good month, so I definitely can't complain. Anyway, best of luck to you guys on your pulls, whether they be free or otherwise. Thank you, as always, so much for watching, and until next time, this is Hoodie Angel Brandon, signing out.